All right, welcome to the Explainer. When you're dreaming up that perfect custom e-bike build, where does it all start? The frame, right? That's the heart of the whole thing. And today we're diving deep into a frame that's made for exactly that kind of dream build, the K5 Steel Enduro. So let's kick things off with a feeling I bet a lot of you serious riders know. You're out there, really pushing it on the trails, and your bike is fine. It's good, even, but it's not yours. It feels like it came off a production line, because it did. And when you want something that's perfectly dialed in for how you ride, those off-the-shelf bikes just don't always hit the mark. And that's the core of the problem, isn't it? Finding the right foundation. You need something that can take a beating. I mean, proper Enduro level abuse. It's got to have the performance geometry, but it also needs to be a blank slate for you to build your dream on. Finding all of that in one package? Yeah, that's the tough part. Okay, so what's the answer here? Well, the source material we're looking at today points to this frame as being that perfect starting point, the foundation for your next big adventure. And here we have it, the K5 frame. The whole idea behind it is to give DIY builders a foundation where they don't have to compromise on anything. And just look at what it's made of: steel, full suspension, enduro geometry, and a single speed design. Whoa, every single one of those choices is deliberate and tells you exactly what this thing is built for. I love this quote from the source material. It just nails the whole philosophy, doesn't it? It's saying, look, you're not just buying a piece of metal. No, you're kicking off a whole journey. The end goal isn't just a bike. It's the experience of building it and then riding something that's uniquely yours. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What actually makes the K5 special? What are those engineering details that are supposed to give it that edge over everything else out there? Okay, first things first, the material. They went with steel, which is pretty interesting when so many frames are aluminum. So why steel? Well, it's not just that it's super strong. Steel has this amazing natural flex to it. They call it compliance. What that means for you, the rider, is that it soaks up all that annoying trail buzz. It makes for a way smoother ride, you feel more connected to the trail, and you're not as beat up at the end of the day. It's a totally different feel from a lot of stiff aluminum frames. And that awesome steel feel is paired up with a full suspension system that's built to eat up the big stuff. The whole point here is to keep your tires glued to the ground, no matter what. More traction means more control. And more control means you can absolutely send it through those gnarly tech sections with way more confidence. Then there's the geometry, the next big piece of the puzzle. And let's be clear, this is not some cross-country frame they just beefed up a bit. Nope, this thing was designed from the ground up for modern enduro riding. We're talking a nice slack head angle, a long wheelbase, all the stuff that makes a bike feel super stable and planted when you're bombing down something steep and fast. It just lets you relax and focus on picking the perfect line. Now, this next part is super interesting and maybe a little controversial. This frame is designed for a single-speed setup. Yeah, you heard that right. In a world of 12-speed, 13-speed, whatever speed drivetrains, why on earth would you go back to one gear? It's all about being bomb-proof. Think about it. No derailleur means there's nothing hanging off the back to get ripped off by a rock. It's simple, it's low maintenance, and it's crazy reliable. For some riders, that pure direct feeling is everything. So that's the engineering side of things. But really, the magic of a frame like this isn't just what it is, it's what you turn into. So let's talk about how this chunk of steel becomes your dream bike. And that customization journey starts right at the beginning with the color. You've got 3 different options to choose from, so you're starting with a base that already matches your style before you've even touched a wrench. And this really breaks down the whole dream process for any home builder. You start with your color, and then the real fun begins. You get to nerd out and pick every single part yourself. The motor, the suspension, the wheels, the brakes, everything. You're not just bolting parts together, you're creating something that is a one-of-a-kind extension of yourself and how you ride. So when you look at the whole package, the big picture here is that this is a long-term investment, right? This isn't some bike you buy and replace in 2 years. With that super durable steel frame, the parts you picked yourself, and that simple, low-maintenance design, you're building a machine that's meant to last, which ultimately means less time wrenching and more time riding. And isn't that the whole point? And this is where we're left. It kind of brings everything full circle, doesn't it? It shifts the focus away from just the frame itself and puts it right back on you, on your creativity, your vision. It's not about what this frame is sitting in a box. It's about what it could become once you get your hands on it.
So that's the real question, isn't it? What would you build?